This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, all. So yesterday we have started with this multi-org structure. This meaning we are planning to implement for some group company like GE, which is into multiple businesses, and these businesses are operated from different countries. Like in India, we have some businesses. In US, we have different businesses, and each business may have one or more divisions. Each division may be operated from one or more locations. Each location may have one or more branches. Now, this is the organization structure. Now, accordingly, we are going to plan our multi-org structure. So, as a part of this multi-org structure, first we have to plan our business groups. A business group is basically used to secure your human resources and payroll policies. So here, since the payroll policies are going to be different from one country to another country, here for each country we have created one business group. And here it's not compulsory that each country should have only one business group. A country can have one or more business group, or a group of countries can also have one business group. Like European Union or some parts of Africa, they are going to have a group of countries are going to have common payroll policies. So there, for a group of countries, we can also create one business group. Legal entities. Legal entities are legal businesses or registered firms. At this level, we prepare our direct and indirect taxes. And here in India, we are planning to create motors and IT solutions as legal entities, and US motors, IT, finance, energy as my legal entities. In UK, we have these two businesses as legal entities. And in order to prepare these direct and indirect taxes, we plan our primary ledger. In order to secure, we prepare the tax reports based on our financial information. This financial information is going to be secured based on our primary ledger. So, and what are the components required for our primary ledger is chart of accounts, calendars, and financial year. Now, chart of accounts is basically used to track at what level the transaction is created, meaning this chart of accounts segments have to be created based on my functional requirement, like companies, divisions, locations, branches. But this structure is going to be different from one enterprise to another enterprise. This structure is going to be different from one enterprise to another enterprise. So accordingly, we are going to plan our chart of accounts. And here, since the calendar and currency is going to be different from one country to another country, we have planned to create how many primary ledgers? 3 primary ledgers. India primary ledger, US primary ledger, and UK primary ledger. Now, this
one small doubt before we start. Small doubt.
Yes,
Yesterday you said that we are going to create 3 business units, right? So how do we roll up the profit and losses, everything from into under one roof? If I want to bring it under one roof, under GE, then how do I roll up all the profit and losses for each and every business group? We have to prepare that separately. We have to calculate that separately, and how the performance is going happening in India, and how it is in US, and how it is in UK, or it can be brought under one roof. It can be rolled up. All the profit and losses can be.
So actually, the profit and losses will be prepared at my legal entity level. So we are going to, meaning here we are just going to secure our financial information by different companies like Motors, IT Solutions. But we'll be preparing this profit and losses at my legal entity level separately for each and every company here. That's okay. What your question is?
Yeah, can't we prepare, can't we create one business unit and business group, and under the business group, can't we manage this? If the payroll is different, then we have to definitely create that business group.
The point is the payroll policies are going to be different from one country to another country, right?
Correct.
So it is not possible to have one business group for all the three countries. So you compulsory have to create a separate business group for different countries.
Okay. Okay.
Moreover, and another point, meaning what I understood from your dot is you want an consolidated financial statements at my enterprise level, right?
Correct.
Yes. Then we have an other solution in our primary ledger concept in GL, that is we have a feature called as consolidation. So using this consolidation feature, what we can do is we can merge the data of all these three ledgers into a consolidation ledger, and there we'll be able to generate a consolidated financial statements at my enterprise level. That is possible.
And the consolidation need to be created in 3 business groups.
Not required. We just merge the balances of these three ledgers into another ledger, and from there we'll be generating a consolidated report.
Hi,
Okay.
sir. Then what about the tax for the if you do consolidate for all the three? Tax will be vary for the
Pardon?
country to consolidate. So, I mean, then what
Your
will be
voice
the
is
tax
not.
for the if you do consolidate? Is it okay
Sorry
now?
to say, your voice. Oh, okay, fine.
I mean, like, if you do consolidate, then what will be the tax for that? Means how you will pay the tax for
What
that?
will be?
Tax,
No,
tax.
consolidation. Say consolidation ledger is not for taxation purpose. Consolidation is only for reporting purpose. Here we are going to prepare the tax reports at my legal entity level, because the tax registration numbers are not associated at my consolidation ledger. That is only for reporting.
Okay, got it.
Because otherwise you'll be paying taxes separately, because we are going to pay taxes separately for each and every firm here. But again, consolidation ledger is only to show what is the performance of the total enterprise of all the operations which are running in different countries, right?
Yes.
Yeah, primary ledger is meaning in order to prepare direct and indirect taxes, we need to secure our financial information. To secure our financial information, we are going to plan our primary ledgers. Again, based on what information we are going to create financial transaction is based on our sales and purchases. Now, to secure our sales and purchase transactions, we create our operating units. Operating unit concept can be different from different businesses here. For retail, it can be a branch. For automobiles, it can be a country. And for state, it can be a state. For banking, it can be the company self. So these are all my operating units, meaning the concept of operating unit differs from one business to another business. And for the same business, you can also create branch as an operating unit only for sales, and location as an operating unit only for purchases. That way also we can create. Right. Now, as we know that, say here, say for example, according to these structures, like for motors, we have the divisions as cars and trucks. Say for example, we are going to plan these divisions as an operating units for motors. Now, when I choose this as an operating unit, the sales and purchase transactions of one operating unit should not be visible for other operating unit. Now, how we are going to secure that data? Now, we know that like here, we are going to plan cars and trucks as my operating units. Maybe like this we have cars, trucks, and like this we have 100 operating units. Meaning we also have planned development, consultancy, training for IT solutions. Maybe energy, we have different operating units, and finance, we may have different operating units. Like this, we planned total according to my client. We have planned how many operating units? 100 operating units. So the sales and purchase transactions of one operating unit should not be visible for other operating unit, right? Then what we can do here is here, and moreover, what are the, can you tell me what are the modules which are used to secure your sales and purchase transactions? The modules which are used to secure your sales and purchase transactions are accounts payables, purchasing,
Order management.
yes, accounts payables, cash management, accounts payables, cash management, accounts receivables, and order management. I'll just make the indent here. PO meaning purchasing, AP, payables, cash management, receivables. This is order management. Order management. Now, here, these are all the modules which are here. So when I install these Oracle applications, all these modules are also going to get installed, and each module is a collection of business functions. All these modules are installed, and each module is a collection of business functions. Now we have planned how many operating units here? 100 operating units. Now this purchasing, is it one purchasing module? Are we going to implement for hundreds of operating units, or the purchase process is going to be different from one operating unit to another operating unit?
It will be different from one to one.
Perfect. It will be different because and moreover, these operating units are not in the same country. It may be in different country. So the sales and purchase processes are going to be different from one operating unit to another operating unit. So if you have 100 operating units, we should have 100 POs have to be implemented. 100 AP modules have to be implemented. But when we have installed, it is going to create as only one copy. So what generally we do is, after creation of these operating units, we are going to run a process called as replicate seed data program for each operating unit. Then what happens is, when I run replicate seed data for cars, these modules will be created as a separate copy, meaning this module is going to get created as a copy for this particular, meaning it is going to create a copy of the business functions of all these modules for cars. Again, when I run replicate seed data for trucks, it will create the copy of this business function separately for trucks. So if you have 100 operating units, we need to run this replicate seed data program for each and every operating unit, so that will create the copy of these modules separately for each and every operating unit. That is how we are going to partition our code. Say for example, now I have run replicate seed data program for cars. So these are all the modules which are created as a copy for, and we know that at this level we are going to secure our sales and purchase transactions. Now, as a part of this purchase transaction, this is my, I'm talking about
Chaitanya,
only.
can you please be on mute? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, mute from your side. Thank you. So here, as a part of this purchase transactions, we create these purchase transactions against whom? We create these purchase transactions against whom? We create these purchase transactions against suppliers, right? And these sales transactions are going to be created against whom? Customers. Meaning I'm talking about this operating unit, and this is my, we process all my purchase transactions against suppliers, and we process all our sales transactions against customers. Now, these are all the copies of the modules, meaning this is all the copies got created when we have run replicate C data. Again, when I run replicate C data for trucks, we'll create the copy of this module separately for trucks. Now, here, whenever we wanted to purchase the goods, here in these modules, so in PO module, I'll create purchase order. I'll create a purchase order, and this purchase order is going to be sent to my, this purchase order is going to be sent to my supplier. Okay. Now, what supplier will do with this purchase order? Now, the supplier is going to send or deliver the goods. So, where am I supposed to receive the goods? Where am I supposed to receive the goods? So, here we have to plan our inventory organizations. An inventory organization can be my stores, meaning where I'm going to stock the material, or an inventory organization can be my manufacturing plant, or it can be my distribution organization. Say, for example, you take some company like automobile company, Maruti Motors. So Maruti Motors have a manufacturing plant in some Gujarat. So after manufacturing the products in Gujarat plant, they send all this to a distribution organization, meaning they send it to a distribution organization, and from the distribution organization, it is going to be delivered to my stores. So like this, an inventory organization can be my stores, or it can be a manufacturing plant, or it can be my distribution organization. So, and how many inventory organizations you can have? We can have many stores, we can have many manufacturing plants, we can have one or more distribution organizations. So there is no limit on this. So one operating unit may have one or more inventory organizations, meaning the physical locations where we actually stock the material or manufacture the material or distribute the material. All these locations must be defined as our inventory organizations. Now, the supplier receives the PO from this and delivers this to our inventory organization. As I told you that inventory organization can be my stores, or it can be manufacturing plant, or it can be my distribution organization. So the supplier receives the PO and delivers the goods to my inventory organization. Supplier receives the PO and delivers the goods to my inventory organization, and here we create GRN. GRN stands for goods receipt note, meaning we physically receive the goods in my inventory here. Now, once after receiving the goods in my inventory, So the supplier is going to send their invoice. Supplier is going to send their invoice. Meaning we have to pay right after receiving the goods. So the invoice is going to be sent to my, this is, here we are going to create an invoice. And for this invoice, we are now going to make the payment. But these payables will be allowed to process invoices and payments only for which operating unit here? Cars. This PO is used to create purchase orders only for which operating unit here? Cars. Okay, now I'll be making the payment. Once I make the payment, the control, I'm going to say this payment is going to be sent to my supplier. Now I made a payment by check. I made a payment by check, but how do I know whether my check is cleared or not? So all the payments which have been made will be transferred to which module here? Cash management module. The cash management module is basically used for reconciliation of your payments, meaning the payment will be transferred to, the payments will be transferred to cash management module. And here we are going to reconcile our, this is nothing but BRS, bank reconciliation statement, meaning where we are going to just confirm from our banker whether the check which have been issued to the supplier is cleared or not. Again, this is the cash management which is used to reconcile the payments of only which operating unit here? Cars. Similarly, meaning this is all PO cars, AP cars, CM cars, AR cars, and order management. Similarly, whenever a customer wanted to purchase the goods, so here customer is going to send us the PO. So here customer is going to send us the PO, purchase order, and based on this purchase order, meaning this is the PO which is going to be sent by my supplier, and here we based on the customer's PO we create sales order. Sales order. Now once after booking the goods, this information will be, the sales order information will be sent to my, the sales order information will be sent to my inventory organization. Sales order information will be sent to my inventory organization. Now, based on this sales order information, the inventory organization is going to ship the goods to my customer. Inventory organization is going to perform which one? Shipping. They ship the goods to my customers. Once after shipping the goods to my customers, here in receivables, we'll create transactions or sales invoice. And this sales invoice is going to be sent to my customer. And accordingly, the customer is now going to make the payments. So when the customer is going to make the payment, we receive the payment into receivables and we create that as cash receipts. Here we create receipts, cash receipts, meaning we receive the payment from our customer. And once after receiving the payments, we deposit this into our bank account. But how do you confirm whether this payment is being made or not? I mean to say this payment is cleared or not is this payment again will be transferred to which module here? Cash management module for reconciliation purpose. This is how the business information flows among all these modules of a specific operating unit. So these are all the modules implemented only for cars, meaning how only meaning these modules, because these are all the copies got created for this operating unit when we have run this replicate C data program. Like this, we are supposed to implement these modules separately for each and every operating unit. Am I clear on this process? Any questions on this, please?
Yes, sir.
You understood? This is how the business flows, but this is only the business flows of all these modules only for this operating unit. If you have 100 operating units, we should implement how many POs? 100 POs, 100 APs, 100 cash management. So you can now understand the implementation, why it is going to take some 6 months to 1 year to implement for any particular companies. It is not one PO, one AP, one AR we are going to implement for an enterprise. We are going to implement these modules separately for each and every operating unit, because the sales and purchase process is going to be different from one business to another business, and from one country to another country, and from one location to another location. So likewise, we are going to plan and implement these modules. Any questions, please? So inventory organizations. So at inventory organizations, again, you have two options here. Meaning here, when I'm going to create inventory organization, you can create your inventory organization as your master organization. It is optional, but if you are going to create in inventory as your master, here a master organization is used to secure. At this level, we secure material information only, and this is my member organizations. At this level, we secure at master level, we secure material and material transactions. Material transactions. At member organization level, we secure transactions only. Let me just explain you about this master and member organization here. So in short, what is an inventory? Or say, for an operating unit to process sales and purchases, we need to know which items to sell, which items to purchase. That items information is going to come from my inventory organization. So an inventory organization is a physical location of my inventory where it is going to act as our stores, manufacturing plant, or a distribution organization. And inventory organization can be a master organization and an or a member organization. Now let me just make you understand clearly the difference between master and. Say, for example, you take any distribution company. A distribution company like Spencer. Now, why I'm calling this Spencer as a distribution company is, this company, whatever the products that they are going to sell are not manufactured by Spencer. So Spencer is going to procure the material and they are going to sell this to a retailer, right? It's like a distribution company, meaning all the products which are going to be sold by this Spencer are not manufactured by Spencer. So like, meaning you have many other products which we can get it in Spencer. All this is not manufactured by